So Starla has had kind of a big power creep problem for a while now, with 5 stars just becoming more and more powerful. You know, not naming any names, but you know, Acheron. But I feel a big contributor to this problem is the lack of real good 4-star and free-to-play options to compete with how strong these 5-star characters are getting. Now, obviously, there are some good options out there, especially recently. Like, you know, we got Pella, Hunt, March, the MC with Harmony, but a majority of the options in the game just don't at all compare to 5 stars. You know, I'll usually have some examples. Hanya is just Sparkle, but worse in basically every way. You know, both of them are Harmony, both for fun skill points, but Sparkle is just way better in terms of getting skill points back and in terms of buffing as well. Now, that maybe is a bit unfair since Sparkle is just kind of insane in general, but how about, you know, someone like Jiaoqiu just being a better version of Guanifan, basically? Or 5 stars even starting to power creep themselves with Clara and Yungli basically fulfilling the exact same role. Now, it doesn't help that some paths haven't even gotten a new 5-star yet since launch, namely Preservation, which has only had for March as the 4-star option for ever since the game has come out. And now, especially since most people are probably going to use Hunt March anyway, you don't really have a 4-star preservation option. To put things really into perspective of how like few and how kind of just weak 4-stars have been as for a while now, we've gotten 2 new 5-stars every patch until 2.6, which only has 1. So a total of 21 5-stars since launch, which, you know, doesn't sound too bad until you realize we've only gotten 10 4-stars, most of which have already been outclassed by newer 5-stars anyway. I think that the only ones that have really stayed is like Gallagher, and that's kind of it. Which, you know, I do get to some extent, right? You know, 5-stars make more money, they're generally more popular, but at the same time, like, there needs to be some sort of balance. Like, 5-stars shouldn't be so much stronger that the other character feels like basically obsolete, you know what I mean? Now Hoyo has been getting better with this as of recently. Now, like I said before, Harmony MC, pretty great. Gallagher, pretty good as well. Hunt March and Mose, also pretty good characters as well. The worst one of these probably is like Mose, but even then he's still pretty good. However, I feel like right now that still just isn't enough. Like, we're getting into a good spot, I feel, but I think that we just needs to be like a couple more good options, and then I feel like we might be in a decent spot. I think that, like, another problem that kind of contributes because all the characters that I named are all like supports or sub DPSs. Like, you know, Harmony MC is a support, Gallagher is a support, you know, sort of, because he's a healer. Mose is a sub DPS. Hunt March is kind of like support / sub DPS. We don't really have any real good 4-star DPS options. Like, the best one is probably like Shui or Ching Shui, but even then, like, they're kind of just like, it's like, I don't know, why would you just use like Firefly or something, you know? Now, there are a couple of solutions to this problem that I see. One is just release more 4-stars, especially for paths that don't have many or don't have any at all. 2 is release less 5-stars, which they seem to be doing, at least for next patch. And 3, which I actually think is the most interesting solution out of all of them, is to give older 4-stars alternate forms, like Hunt March, in order to kind of boost them up to modern standards. This solves a couple of problems. One, you know, like I said, it makes characters that are falling behind, especially a lot of 1.0 characters, because a lot of those characters have kind of were already pretty questionable when the game came out, but now they're just like completely irrelevant. Like, yeah, makes them relevant in terms of both gameplay and story. Now, obviously, you know, not every character has to have like a huge story moment in order for them to get a new form, I feel. But I definitely think they could do that for a couple of characters, but I also don't think you need to be shackled by having to have it be a story moment to get a new form. Also, it gives free-to-play players more options, since if it works like how March works, you could just swap forms. However, one problem with this is if they just give older characters 5-star versions instead of free alternate forms, and just keep the free alternate forms to March and the MC, which just doesn't really solve the problem at all. It just kind of just makes it worse. Now, I'm not completely against them making some 5-star versions of past characters. I just don't want that to be the only thing that they do. Now, obviously, like I said, it isn't all bad, though, since the game, I do think, isn't going in a good direction as of late. Obviously, power creep is still an issue. Obviously, I don't think we're ever going to fully get rid of power creep, because power creep is kind of how you keep things exciting for players and how you keep people actually wanting the new characters. Since, if they're not as good as the older characters, then most people are probably not going to get them, unless they're, like, really popular. So, in the end, I think Starl is in a pretty decent spot, but I think Hoyo just needs to add a couple more, like, good options, and then I think we might be in a pretty decent spot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.